I have to tell you guys, it was a little bit like Christmas last night when I logged onto Twitter and I saw this beautiful, wonderful tweet from Project Veritas. Jack Dorsey warns Twitter crackdown will be much bigger than Trump ban in leaked video. Now, that statement itself is not so good, but what I wanted to celebrate here for a second is that at one of the most leftist companies probably in Silicon Valley, the employees are so freaked out at what they are doing to censor free speech, censor free expression of ideas in the United States of America, that they are recording the CEO and leaking that video to Project Veritas. Can we just wrap our heads around what must be going on in the minds of employees at this obviously leftist company to record the CEO? Like, this is absolutely crazy. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey warned staffers that the social media giant's recent crackdown after the U.S. Capitol riots will be much bigger than just banning President Trump's account. Dorsey's message during the meeting last Friday was leaked to Project Veritas, and a Twitter spokesperson confirmed that it is authentic. You know what was one of the funniest things that happened last night after this video came out? Which they're not going to say it's a lie because they obviously know it's not a lie. It's very clear that that is actually Jack Dorsey. It's obvious. But they did put a sensitivity warning on James O'Keefe's tweet. Look at this tweet. Breaking, Twitter has labeled Project Veritas #exposed Twitter release of Jack detailing the company's agenda on continuing their political sensitive as sensitive content, which, as James aptly points out, this further validates the release. And you can see here, he's got a screenshot of exactly what they did. They made it so you had to click on a button to view the sensitive content in the video. I think this is absolutely hilarious. They're also, by the way, trying to pretend that this is not that big of a deal. This is a tweet. James is retweeting Brandon here, who is Twitter's Twitter runs global communication at Twitter. And Brandon says, "Does it still count as a leak if your CEO tweets it out to the world the day before?" Which, of course, Jack did not do. He's referring to this absurd thread that did not say what was in the video, and of course James O'Keefe aptly calls him out on it. Brandon, where in the Jack tweet did he say the political censorship is going to be much bigger than just one account, and it's going to go on for much longer than just this day, this week, the next few weeks? And Jack Dorsey even goes on so far as to say that this is going to go on after the inauguration. We can see that here. We are focused on one account right now, meaning Donald Trump's account. But this is going to be much bigger than just one account. It's going to go on for much longer than just this day, this week, the next few weeks, and go on beyond inauguration. So what does he mean by that? What does he mean by that? Because we already know they're lying to us. We know they're lying to us because we can go down later in this article where they claimed the other day that, you know how everyone on the right has been losing massive amounts of followers? I have lost 12,000 followers in the last week. It's happening to everyone on the right. And a lot of people are losing a lot more than I have. And first Twitter came out and they said, no, we are not deleting followers. What we are doing is requiring people to confirm their phone number. And when they have to confirm their phone number, they don't count towards your follower account. Oh, really? Because then they came out and they said, we have banned 70,000 accounts related to that conspiracy theory that I'm not allowed to say the name of, or I result in instant demonetization. But they said that all the 70,000 accounts that we have banned, that's just those silly conspiracy theory people. Those are the only people that we're banning are the conspiracy theory people, except that James Woods tweeted that he had lost 137,000 followers. So where's the gap, Jack, between the 70,000 accounts that you say you banned and the 137,000 accounts that are no longer following James Woods? I'm going to bet it's hundreds of thousands of people that have been banned. And if Twitter tries to claim that these are all problematic people, I had a member of my locals community, and we're going to talk about locals in a second. I had a member of my locals community get permanently banned on Twitter. The woman is one of the least controversial people in the world. She's an incredibly nice person. She's awesome. She doesn't believe in any of the conspiracy theory stuff, and she barely even uses Twitter. And she was banned for platform manipulation and spam. What they're doing is they're going after the smaller accounts first. That's what they're doing. They're going after the smaller accounts first. But there's one other thing I want to talk about that Jack said in this video that I think is very important to understand. So the focus is certainly on this account and how it ties to real world violence. Just keep that one in your back pocket for a sec. We're going to come back to it. But also, we need to think much longer term about how these dynamics play out over time. I don't believe this is going away anytime soon. The question I have is, what does Jack mean by real world violence? What does that mean? Because to people like you and I, we define violence as someone throwing a punch or shooting a gun or things that actually result in bodily harm to another human being. But Jack Dorsey is a leftist. He's a leftist. They don't use words the same way that we do. They change definitions of words. Now, how often have you heard the term, words are violence? That's something that is very often said from SJWs. That's the whole basis of the idea of safe spaces on college campuses, that words are violence. In fact, we had a whole meltdown at Politico yesterday. Politico had the gall to allow Ben Shapiro to write an article in their newsletter, and their whole staff, or at least 225 of them, had a giant meltdown over the fact that Ben Shapiro wrote an article, to the point where they had to have a staff meeting to coddle their staff about it. These are people that genuinely believe that hurting someone's feelings, telling them information they don't want to hear, offering a different perspective, a different point of view. These are people that genuinely believe that all of those are acts of violence. So I'm going to bet that that is exactly what Jack Dorsey meant when he said that. And that is why, guys, it is so important. Listen, I don't believe in leaving Twitter. I don't. And frankly, I think people who are like, I'm taking my toys and going home. I'm taking my ball and going home. I'm deleting my Twitter account. I frankly think that those people are cowards. I know I'm going to piss off a lot of you when I say that. I think you're cowards if you do that. That's running in the other direction. That is not fighting the battle where the battle is being fought. That is retreating off into your own safe space. You're literally creating your own safe space for yourself. So I am not in favor of leaving Twitter at all. I think that as long as we can be on Twitter, we should be on Twitter fighting the battle where the battle is fought. However, I do also believe in building up communities for when the inevitable comes, because we know that this is now going to continue. And where I have chosen to build up my community is on locals. I'm on lots of other things too. I'm on Gab, I'm on CloutHub, I'm on Minds, I'm on all sorts of other different platforms. I'm on MeWe now. I'm even on MySpace. I even started a MySpace account just because I thought that would be funny. But where I'm really focusing my energy and attention is on locals, because locals is a place where we can say what we want to say. There are no trolls. There's no censorship. They do have very high level terms of service where they don't allow threats of violence. They don't allow porn and stuff like that. But really, I feel extremely safe that locals is going to insulate all of us from this censorship. I strongly recommend you join my community, join the communities of other creators that you love. My information is right below me in that little box. One of the benefits of joining my community is that you do get all my videos ad-free with a free account. It is free to join my locals, and you get all of my videos ad-free just by setting up an account. Now, if you want to participate in the discussion and unlock all the features in the community, you do need to chip in a little bit, and it starts at $5 a month to keep it really nice and affordable for everyone. If you want to try it out, until the end of January, you can use the promo code FREESPEECH, all one word, no spaces, free speech, and that'll give you a free month in the community to try it out. But again, guys, it is free to join. You don't have to sign up with the promo code to get your free account, and I strongly recommend you do it. But there's one more thing I want to talk about. Because with all the attacks on free speech that we're seeing in America right now, you know who's coming to save the day? You know who's going to be the savior? Mexico. Mexico. Who would have seen this coming? This is from the AP as of yesterday. Mexican president mounts campaign against social media bans. Who would have thunk it? Apparently, Trump didn't piss him off too much with the wall. Who would have thunk it? Mexico's president vowed Thursday to lead an international effort to combat what he considers censorship by social media companies that have blocked or suspended the accounts of President Donald Trump. And I'm sorry, I know I'm going to butcher their names if I try to pronounce them. I apologize. I suck at names. I'm just going to read their offices. The administration is reaching out to other government to form a common front on the issue. I can tell you that at the first G20 meeting we have, I'm going to make a proposal on this issue. Yes, social media should not be used to incite violence and all that, but this cannot be used as a pretext to suspend freedom of expression. How can a company act as if it was all-powerful, omnipotent, and a sort of Spanish Inquisition on what is expressed? I think that's a very good question, and I just think it's hilarious that Mexico, for all the talk of Trump and pissing off and how much he pissed off Mexico with the wall, Mexico is coming to advocate for free speech on behalf of all of us. Thank you, Mexico. We greatly, greatly appreciate your efforts in this area, since it seems that most Americans have forgotten what free speech means, at least in spirit. Alright guys, that is all I have for this video. If you enjoyed it, I do daily content around news, politics, culture, critical race theory, SJW nonsense, basically whatever I find interesting. I hope you'll join me by subscribing to the channel, turning on notifications, leaving a comment to feed that algorithm, giving it a thumbs up to let YouTube know what you... Oh my god, I cannot speak now. Good thing it's the end of the video. Most of you haven't made it this far. I hope you'll give it a thumbs up to let YouTube know you like what I'm doing, and it'll help most of you see a little bit more of my content, I guess, if you give it a thumbs up. That's all I've got for right now, because apparently I can't even talk anymore, so I need some water or something. I'll see you guys soon.